Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh. Look at his face. In today's video, we will be answering the age-old question. Well, I guess it's an age-old question, but today it is the battle of the steaks, Italy versus Japan, judged by two Americans. But today we will find out Bistecca Fiorentina versus the Japanese Wagyu. Who will be number one?
One of the things that I love about this restaurant is as soon as you walk in the door, you're hit with this refrigerator that has huge racks of meat just dry aging inside of there because they specialize in dry aged meat as well. I don't think we're getting any of that today, but that's probably for a future video.
So one of the scary things is when you order a steak like this or meat like this is that because it goes by the weight or by each 100 grams, so we don't know how much the Italian steaks weighs and we don't know how much the Wagyu weighs, and I'm honestly worried about that one. So I just ordered some wine to calm my nerves. Eating 2 steaks and potatoes wasn't enough. Vernon, what is that?
This was an appetizer. I didn't exactly know what it said because we were using Google Translate, and I really don't trust that a whole lot anyway. But it was something along the lines of 1,000 flowers, and there was ham in here, and even a fly wants it.
At least it's not a bee, because you have a bad record with bees.
Wow. There's definitely some kind of Oh, goat cheese. Yeah, goat cheese and ham, amazing. This was unexpected. So the lady actually was super nice, and they said that they just are gonna give us this salami that's on the house. She said it's typical salami, it's pork, and this homemade giardiniera. I mean, this is one of the things we love about Italy is the people here are so nice when it comes to stuff like this.
I love how you're trying to be all civil for the video. That's not how we eat salami.
No.
You eat it with your hands.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna eat it with my hands, but I'm gonna try to look nice for you guys on video. She said that this salami was dry aged for 5 months.
And from what I understood, my Italian, it's a baby pig.
Yeah, it's very fatty, which is so good. Yeah, so this giardiniera, she said, was homemade.
It's not like the giardiniera we're used to back in Chicago.
That comes from a bottle.
Right. But how is the homemade? Homemade in Italy.
Oh God, it's so good. It just tastes like something your grandmother would make. It's really, really good.
Meat are plain, and there is mild salt. Buon appetito.
So the first impressions, the meat's like shrunken, so the Wagyu is even smaller. The Fiorentina is still massive. The smell, I wish YouTube had smell-o-vision already because you guys cannot imagine. I'm salivating.
One of the other things I wanted to point out is just a little bit of the attention to details, right? So underneath the steak, they have this little flame that they use to keep it hot, and the plates are also hot. So if you take the steak off and you put it on the plate here, it stays warm. It doesn't get cold quickly.
Also, they never asked us how we wanted our steaks cooked. I assume they would probably kick us out if we said we wanted our steaks anything but medium rare.
Basically, yes. Nowhere in Italy have they asked us where or what kind of steak we want. It's always, always, always medium rare, maybe even rare.
I assume the same in Japan.
So I know there's some of you all back in the US who like to eat your steaks well done. They don't do that here.
Also, no A1 sauce, it's just some good old organic, local olive oil.
One.
Just glistening.
It's so juicy.
When you have the Wagyu next to the Fiorentina, it's a little underwhelming.
It does look smaller. Yeah, it looks a lot smaller. All right, so first up is gonna be the Fiorentina, or the Florentine steak.
I mean, it's always.
It's juicy, it's warm, it's so good. It's very fatty, but in a good way. And I like that when they make these, the outside is usually just slightly charred. It's probably my favorite part about these steaks. So good. But the Wagyu, I want to see if this lives up to the hype.
So I don't think we've ever actually had Wagyu.
No, I mean, I've had a lot of things from Japan, but not Wagyu steak. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Wow, okay.
It's so soft. It's like, it's as soft as a cotton ball. I don't know how to describe it, but as soon as you put it in your mouth and you chew it, but you bite down on it, it just crumbles like that. It's so soft, it's so tender. It's like you could have gums, you could have no teeth at all and still be able to eat this steak. It's wild.
It's very visual, Vern. I'm so excited. Vernon hyped up the steak so much. I'm gonna go right for the middle piece. So let's just go Italian steak. No salt, no pepper, no olive oil, just the meat. It's already super soft. You taste almost like the grass. That's the way I would describe it. There's no like aftertaste of anything gamey or anything like lingering on. It feels very fresh. Like you feel like you're eating the cow from the pasture. I'm gonna go right also for the center, so like the same cut of the Wagyu. So let's see. Oh my God, look at the marbling. So the only one thing I'm skeptical about is the fact that we had an Italian guy cook the Japanese steak, so I don't know how fair it is. So now we have to go to Japan and we have to have the Japanese guy cook us some Wagyu and also him cook us Italian steak. Only fair, right, Vern?
I mean, anytime's a good time for steak.
Okay, let's see. First time ever trying Wagyu.
Was I right about how soft it was?
It's soft, but I think I had a lot of fat in that piece. Okay, this is zero fat. This is pretty rare. Wow. Oh, it's like butter. What the hell?
Yeah, it's not like there's no chewing whatsoever, right? Like you could gum this thing.
How's that possible? Even the outside with the crispy little bits, it's gone. It just melts in your mouth. This is crazy. I've never had steak like that. But I will say the Florentine steak has more of like, because of the texture and you get to have it more in your mouth, it leaves more of like an aroma and like a presence
yeah, I
in your
didn't think
palate.
about that. But you also have to try the wine too. You have to pair it with that wine.
You don't have to tell me twice. This is such a good wine. I don't even know what it is. It's just house wine. This was like a few euro. It's crazy how good and cheap wine in Italy. Oh, we got to do more wine reviews.
We got to save somewhere. I don't know how much that Wagyu costs, but we have to save somewhere.
We also forgot to mention we do have vegetables, but I think it's more of a suggestion. You know, nothing fancy. This is the main part of the show. I think Vernon's having a moment.
I can't even speak right now. If I eat enough of this steak, I'm going to end up speaking Japanese and Italian.
Just to show you how hypnotizing the steak is, that's Vernon.
Okay, that may have been a little too much salt, right? This is quickly turning into the least healthy dinner we've ever had. Pile of steak, salty vegetables. We're taking everything that's good and we're just kind of like destroying it from the outside.
So Vern, how are you gonna elevate the steak even more?
So it is something that we've seen often here in Italy, to put a little bit of salt and a little bit of olive oil on your steak. Every steakhouse that we've seen has had that kind of setup going. So a little bit of salt on the Florentine steak. A little bit, okay. I said a little bit, maybe more than a little bit. And then a little bit on the Wagyu.
Just blame the wine.
I want to see if these can get any better. Maybe they're just a little different. So first the Florentine steak with the salt and the olive oil. Now the Wagyu. I don't even have to cut into the Wagyu. You could just take a bite out of it. I don't even know why that. You could use a butter knife to cut into this thing. It's so soft.
Do you think it's worth the hype, the Wagyu?
Not all the time, but yeah. I do think that there's one thing that I didn't think about before this, because this is not something you ever consider before when you're trying a steak like Wagyu. But there could be a point where you actually like to chew a little bit of the steak, right? The Wagyu can, I think, for a lot of people be a little too soft, but it's not a problem for me. It's amazing. I don't think I'm gonna get it all the time when we go out. It's also still kind of expensive, but it was worth a shot.
A few moments later.
So we have the last 2 bites. Oh no. We have the last 2 bites of the Wagyu. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is my kind of cheers. The last bite is just as good as the first. We have a few pieces still left and we're debating which steak was better. And I think I have my opinion and I think Vernon has his. But we have one surprise judge and we're gonna see what he thinks is the best steak. I can hear Atlas's heavy breathing because we have the steak in the house.
He knows. He knows. He smelled it. He's licking his lips. He knows.
Rating. Who wins? Your thoughts.
My thoughts are the better steak was the Wagyu,
Okay.
but my favorite steak was the Fiorentina. The reason I have a difference here, I think, is because the Wagyu, I feel like it takes itself relatively seriously, right? It's a really small quantity. It's high price.
Yeah, you gotta savor it.
You gotta savor it, right? We like to, with our Fiorentina steak, we like to put a little salt on there with some olive oil and things like that. I don't think that the Wagyu is supposed to be done that way. I think it's supposed to be cooked a certain way, eaten a certain way, so it has a very rigid way of being eaten. And I think that the Fiorentina just is a little bit more fun.
I'm gonna have to agree with you that I think Fiorentina, it's just, there's more oomph to it. But I'm not gonna just declare everything because, you know, maybe we had not the best cut of Wagyu. I don't know. We are in Italy, we're not in Japan. I know people in the comments are gonna say, oh, you gotta go to Japan, you gotta go to Kyoto, you gotta go to Osaka to get the best cut. You know, you can't compare it. But from what we had today, I think Vernon's definitely 100% right. But we have a third final guest judge to make that decision. So let's go. Atlas, are you ready to judge? All right. So this is Italy. No, don't eat yet. You want to smell? Smell.
What if I try to take it from him? What if I try to take it from him?
Good luck. No.
Can I have a bite?
No. Vernon, let me do my test.
He's gonna take my hand off.
So we got the Wagyu.
Stay.
No.
Stay.
We got the Wagyu.
Boy, that is a trained dog right there. I don't even know if I'd be able to freaking hold myself back.
All right. We have the crazy cat behind. Okay, this is the moment of truth. Look at his face.
He's like 140% serious.
All right. We have Italy. We have Japan. Atlas? Going?
Oh, he went for the Wagyu.
Oh my God.
And then the steak. What about the cat? Can the cat smell it?
Kitty, you want some? Luca. People in the comments are going to be like, damn, these animals are bougie.
All right, so definitely let us know in the comment section below what you thought and what we should be trying next, because there's a whole world of food out there and we want to try this as much as possible.
I keep smelling that steak and Atlas is going crazy over there. So we're going to wrap up before he eats the rest of it, and definitely subscribe. Ciao.
Ciao.